As we move towards a new year, I don't want to talk about resolutions. I want to talk about what we're not taking with us, because most of the time confidence doesn't just disappear. It actually gets drained slowly. And not in one big dramatic moment, but through small habits, through small patterns, and through small choices, which we might even barely notice ourselves making. And confidence doesn't grow when you pile on more stuff. It actually builds when you stop doing the things that quietly disconnect you from yourself. So this week I want to talk about the confidence killers to totally leave behind in 2025. Confidence killer number one is performing instead of being present. This one is subtle and incredibly common. It's when you walk into a room thinking, what should I say? How do I sound smart? How do I come across? What are they going to think of my dress, my outfit, my this, my that, my shoes, my hair? Instead of being present in the room with the person or the experience, you're totally focused on yourself. And this is a massive trap that heaps of us fall into. Because the moment you start performing for the approval of others, it's just your confidence just leaks out. Because now you're focused on managing your perception instead of actually building true connection. And I see this constantly on stage, in meetings, at dinners, on podcasts, people rehearsing instead of actually listening. People planning instead of noticing. And the truth is that presence builds confidence. We have to be in an experience to learn from it, to immerse in it, and to bring our best self to it. When you're performing, you're filtering your voice, but when you're present, everything lands in a completely different way. So in 2026, leave the habit of trying to impress others behind and show up in all circumstances to connect truly instead. Confidence killer number two, saying yes when your body and your voice and every part of you has already said no. This one is not just about overcommitting. It's about silencing yourself in small everyday moments. It's like you can feel it before you think it, and it can show up as a tight chest, a subtle pullback, that quiet pause when something in you goes, oh, this doesn't feel right, but yet you say yes anyway. You rationalize it and you smooth it over and you tell yourself that it's easier to do this, whatever it is, and not make a fuss. And sometimes this might show up in a work capacity as agreeing in meetings when you have a different perspective, or staying quiet instead of asking the questions that you really want to ask, or editing your opinion so it sounds more acceptable and digestible to those around you, or even holding back your voice because you don't want to sound difficult or emotional, or you don't want to come across as too much. You see, here's the part though that we don't talk about enough. Every single time you mute your expression, every time you limit yourself, every time you don't say the thing that you want to say, your confidence takes a massive hit. And not loudly, not immediately, but quietly. Because confidence is built on self-trust, and self-trust erodes every single time you don't let your true self be heard. So in 2026, it's not about being louder, it's about being more true to who you really are. So pause before you edit yourself and listen to your body, because your body knows the truth. Confidence killer number three is over-explaining yourself in order to be liked. This one sneaks in everywhere. It can come in the form of justifying. It can come in the form of softening. It can come in the form of adding disclaimers and caveats to the ideas and messages that you share. It can come in the form of apologizing for taking up space. If your explanation has any kind of preface, disclaimer, or even a long TED Talk attached to it, it's too much. You see, over-explaining doesn't make you clearer, it makes you smaller. And true confidence doesn't require permission, because confidence isn't about saying more, it's about trusting that what you've already said is enough. So in 2026, say what you mean and always let it land. Confidence killer number four is consuming much more than you actually create. And this is especially hard and loud right now, but it's scrolling and looking at other people's social media instead of trusting what you want to do. It's comparing yourself to others instead of expressing what feels right. It's absorbing everyone else's voice, and in the process, your true voice and your ideas and your opinions start to fade. You don't need more information, you need more self-trust. And the more you consume of others, generally, the quieter your voice can become if that consumption is loud and noisy. And confidence grows when you create, when you speak, when you share, when you try, not when you're endlessly absorbing. So in 2026, let your voice be louder than your social media feed. Confidence killer number five is ignoring the micro signals. So this is the quietest confidence killer of them all. It's ignoring fatigue, ignoring tension, ignoring that subtle sense that something feels off. Your body might flag misalignment before your mind actually catches up. Confidence isn't about powering through, it's about paying attention. Because if you stop noticing, you stop trusting yourself. And we don't just have the ability to pick up on so many more nonverbal cues than we give ourselves credit for, but also if we pay attention to our body, it is such a rich source of information. So in 2026, notice more because so much of our confidence comes from our beautiful physical vessel. So here's a fun reframe to play with, and that is that confidence isn't about becoming someone new in the new year. It's about stopping the habits that disconnect you from who you already are. Because you don't need a louder voice, you don't need more certainty, and you don't need to reinvent yourself. You just need a more honest relationship with you and what lights you up and what inspires you and what you're passionate about. Confidence doesn't come from finding your voice. It comes so many times from just stopping the habits and the noise that silences your true voice. So as we move into the brand new year, 2026, notice where you feel the most you and do much more of that. And remember, pause before you say yes because your body already knows the answer, and stop rehearsing who you think you should be so that you can start expressing who you already are. Confidence doesn't come from pushing harder, it comes from leaving behind what wasn't aligned in the first place. So that's the invitation for 2026. Thank you so much for listening to Fuel Your Confidence. I can't wait to be back with you next year for more episodes, more stories, more confidence tips, and so much more of everything. Catch you in the new year.